So, I guess we've got some bonus content.
Yeah, hell yeah.
We've tried to shy away from the primetime games from time to time, but moving forward, we're going to test out this new segment where we kind of look at the primetime games, at least this Sunday and Monday. It's a little tougher for us to do Thursday. I guess we're going to just dive into starting with Sunday night. We've got the Chicago Bears going to Houston to take on the Texans. Texans 6.5-point favorites, over-under set at 45.5. I guess we've got to start with Caleb Williams. What did you think of him and his NFL debut? And is that something that you want to overreact to after 1 week? Because it sure didn't look good.
No, it was everything that we feared. And I say we, I mean Bears fans.
You're a Bears fan.
Yeah. Like, it was everything that you pointed to. Like, this, if the season goes sideways for Chicago, it's going to be for this reason. Like, if Caleb Williams is not what he was made out to be in the preseason, it's going to be because he's relying on Gerard up in the sand sort of style of football and a lack of control, and you get the splash plays, but you also get a lot of the bad as well. So I think they're gonna have to protect him from himself, more or less, in order for this offense to find its stride early on. Like, I do think there will come a point where you sort of start to realize the speed at which this game goes in the NFL and the closing speed of cornerbacks and linebackers in coverage and things like that. But until that gets rectified, I don't know if that gets solved in 1 week. So you're all of a sudden you're going on the road to face a team that looks pretty good in Houston. Like, that offense looks legit, weapons across the board. So in general, I feel like I'm going to lay the points in this situation. But your Caleb Williams question, just not great in week 1. I think it gets solved, but I don't think it happens week over week.
I thought he looked like a boy amongst men, honestly, and maybe even more so than I thought. I was kind of down on him going into week 1, where I thought, the numbers were great at USC, but he didn't play anybody really worth a damn. Now, my one holdback from really declaring the Titans a great defense is the fact that they were going up against a rookie quarterback who looked every bit the rookie quarterback we expected. He was missing throws that were wide open down the sideline. And I think the more troubling thing, and you kind of hit on this, was him running 10 yards back. It's like a guy playing Madden on all Madden for the first time being
try to run all the way around and just you beat him on the edge.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, this isn't Michael Vick in 2004.
You're going to run 74 yards just to get 2 yards over the line of scrimmage. So there was that. And to your point, that's where the speed comes in. Linebackers will catch you. Defensive linemen will catch you. And that's something he's got to learn. I don't think he learns it going to Houston on a Sunday night. First road game of his career. Also, Keenan Allen's already banged up. Rome Odunze's banged up. I think this is a tough lesson for the rookie to learn here. Come back to earth. I would probably lay the points too. Don't feel great about it. I think it probably goes under because I just don't know whether that Bears offense is going to generate a ton here. This is a work in progress. We can't overreact, but I thought Jaden Daniels was better than Caleb Williams was in week 1, and so I don't think that travels well either.
Yeah, look, in the questions about Caleb Williams as well, in addition to how is his style going to adapt to the NFL, is the mental side of it. We've seen the go back to him crying in the stands or whatever. There is the extra layer of how is he going to adjust, learn the game? Is it how does that impact him off the field as well in terms of preparation and things like that?
If he learns those lessons quick, though, it's going to show up real fast because he has so many God-given abilities. It's just kind of harnessing him and putting him in a spot that makes sense. The Harbaugh thing with Herbert, doesn't need it necessarily, but somebody reining him in like that will go a long way, and just putting him in a position where he can take advantage of his skills.
So they got the at Indianapolis next week, and then they have the Rams at home, the Panthers at home. They have an international game against the Jaguars, a bye week, and then they have Washington, Arizona, New England. So there's a stretch in the middle of the season where I think he gets right. I just don't think it happens this week, and I don't think it happens next week.
It's a long season.
Sure is.
Monday Night Football. Got the Atlanta Falcons coming off their week 1 loss. They go to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. Eagles 6.5-point favorites. Total set at 47.5. Where do you want to start here? Do we talk about how concerned we are about the Falcons, or we talk about the Eagles coming home after an impressive win?
Let's start with the Falcons because everybody kind of had them as the NFC South champs by default.
Mike Lombardi ripped them apart as the Super Bowl champs came back to earth in week 1. I don't think we were necessarily on that.
No, we were trying to find reasons to fade the Falcons.
That's
really.
right.
And if we had them going to the playoffs or anything like that, it was because the rest of that division stinks, which I still feel pretty confident in.
I agree.
And I do think offensively they will improve. Like they were, Atlanta and Pittsburgh. The under was one of my picks last week. It is because new quarterback, new offensive coordinator. It's also a quarterback coming back from an injury. So Kirk Cousins looked very skittish. He looked like a guy who was coming off an Achilles injury. I think that, I think he gains a little more confidence over time and starts to drive the ball downfield a little bit more. Philly returning home from Brazil, another long flight, like we said with Green Bay. Defense already showed cracks, so maybe I look at the total here and maybe we go over. I don't know. I think I'm inclined to take the points with Atlanta in this game, thinking that it'll look a little bit better offensively. But interesting first week for both teams.
I would lean towards hashtag take the points too, because this is one of those things where you look at the schedule, week 1 to week 2. Everything points to an Eagles route here, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just one team looked like death. The other team is survived an international trip, feels good about itself, comes home. Saquon Barkley looks like an entirely new player. I mean, you want to talk about video games, like that looks like, Terrell Davis on NFL Game Day 98 at a certain point. There's a couple plays that he had at the line of scrimmage where the shiftiness looked like it was there. He was an asset in the passing game. Like, that's the exact type of weapon that this team needs, where they want to run the ball, but they value versatile playmakers. Makes all the sense in the world. Can you stay healthy? That's the big question. The other side, the Falcons, completely unimpressive, but I think you got to give them a little bit of time too. There is, people talk about Rodgers and how is he going to come back at his age from that injury. Cousins isn't a whole lot younger, so it might never come. They kind of called the game like they had a quarterback who was aging and was coming off of major injury, so no surprise there. Didn't push the ball downfield at all. Maybe they try to do that here. I wouldn't feel great about it, but I guess I'd probably lean the under here, under 47.5, because I think this Falcons offense is going to have some rust to kick off. Is it even rust if the quarterback wasn't there last year? I don't know.
I don't even totally understand how rust works. So. ESPN's Ben Solak said that Cousins, this is a next-gen stat, Cousins moved an average of 3.1 yards per dropback versus Pittsburgh. In other words, he was just...
That feels pretty stationary.
He's like the electric football quarterback who just got like the arm up.
Yeah.
And he just, all the guys are running around the field. That game sucks, by the way.
That's probably the best way to describe that offense over the last 5 or 6 years, so that makes sense. The
loudest game ever.
It is. It's the worst game ever. I got it for Christmas one year. It's like you got this little football. It doesn't even make sense.
How do you throw the ball? Like you just flick the guy's arm back, right? Oh man, what a brutal!
People had it so bad back in the day.
What a brutal game.
Yeah. So.
All right.
You want to go play electric football?
Yeah, I'm definitely eBaying it when we get back to our desk.
All right, that's Ricky. I'm Mike. This is Spread. Thanks for joining us this week. We'll see you again next week. Goodbye.
PNC Bank, rooted in communities big and small.